students. In the last videos we have already discussed it is environmental chemistry. In that one we have studied air pollution and also we have started water pollution, and in this video we are going to study some of the parameters to find out the oxygen level in the water molecules. Okay, for that one, the first one we have to study in this video dissolved oxygen, that is, it is also called as DO in shortcut. DO, dissolved oxygen. And next COD, chemical oxygen demand. BOD, biological oxygen demand. One by one we are going to study in this video. And first thing, dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen means these terms are used to describe this dissolved oxygen or DO. It is used to describe the amount of oxygen in the unit volume of water. Amount of oxygen dissolved in a unit of water. Okay, how much amount of oxygen present in unit volume of water, it is determined by this dissolved oxygen. Because aquatic life animals, they want oxygen also to survive their life, and if water gets polluted, then it is not allow oxygen enter into the water, it is not supplied to the aquatic life. That's why this method, dissolved oxygen method, it is used to describe the amount of oxygen present or amount of oxygen dissolved in the unit volume of water. Unit volume of water, it is known as dissolved oxygen. And this term or this dissolved oxygen, it is essential for maintenance of, first it is important, essential for maintenance of healthy lakes and rivers. It is used to, or it is essential, this dissolved oxygen, it is essential for maintenance of healthy lakes and rivers. And also this is a dissolved oxygen, it is a measure of the ability of water to sustain aquatic life. So sustain aquatic life, it is important, it is measure. And dissolved oxygen, take definition of this one. The term dissolved oxygen, it is used to dissolved oxygen is used to describe the describe the amount of oxygen dissolved in the dissolved in unit volume of water. Dissolved in unit volume of This is the example for, sorry, this is the definition for dissolved oxygen. The term dissolved oxygen is used to describe the amount of oxygen, which is important, amount of oxygen dissolved in unit volume of water, that is known as dissolved oxygen. Okay, and this dissolved oxygen, it must be present in water drop. It must be greater than 5 ppm, parts per million is present in the water drop, or 5 milligram per dm cube, or 5 milligram per dm cube. This much of dissolved oxygen present in the water drop. Okay, then how you determine dissolved oxygen? How you determine dissolved oxygen in water sample? That method is also known as Winkler method. That is Winkler method. Determination of dissolved oxygen. Determination of dissolved oxygen in water sample. Determination of dissolved oxygen in water sample, or it is also known as Winkler method. Winkler method. It is important. 5 marks. This 5 marks question. They will ask, how you determine dissolved oxygen in water sample? Explain. Or explain Winkler method. If it comes explain Winkler method, then you go for determination of dissolved oxygen in water sample. Okay, it is, they may be asked for 5 marks question. First thing, what is the principle behind this method? So what is the principle of this method, this Winkler method or dissolved oxygen in water sample? How you determine, and what is the principle of this one? Okay. The principle of this Winkler method is oxygen in water. Whatever the oxygen present in that water sample, it oxidizes. It oxidizes iodine ion into iodine molecule, or iodine ion into iodine quantitatively. First thing is, the principle of this Winkler method is, whatever the oxygen present in the water sample, it oxidizes iodine ion into iodine quantitatively, and the amount of iodine, whatever the amount of iodine is generated when the oxygen is oxidizes to iodine ion into iodine quantitatively, whatever the iodine is generated, it is treated, or iodine generated, it is determined by, titrated with, the iodine is generated, it is determined by titration with, standard sodium thiosulfate or standard thiosulfate solution. Okay, the principle states that the principle of Winkler method is, the oxygen present in the water sample First it oxidizes iodine ion into iodine quantitatively, and whatever the iodine is generated is determined by titration with, standard thiosulfate solution. Standard thiosulfate solution. Already you have done in the third semester practical examination. Sorry, in the practical you have studied that one. Iodine and sodium thiosulfate titration. And end point of this titration, it is find out by using starch as a indicator. By using starch indicator, we will find out the end point of this titration. Okay. First thing, principle of this method is oxygen present in the water sample. It oxidizes first. Iodine ion. That is iodine ion into iodine. Iodine ion into iodine quantitative. The generated iodine, here, iodine ion, it is converted into, or it is oxidized into iodine, and the generated iodine is determined by titrate with standard thiosulfate solution. Okay, and the end point is determined by using starch as a indicator. It is a principle of Winkler method. That is, oxygen present in the water sample, it oxidizes first iodine ion into iodine quantitatively, and here generated iodine, it is determined by titrate with, titration or titrate with standard thiosulfate solution. Standard means standard solution. Standard means we know the concentration of this solution. That's why it is called as standard solution. Standard thiosulfate solution. We know the concentration of this thiosulfate solution. That's why it is called as standard thiosulfate solution. And the end point of this titration, it is determined by the using starch as a indicator. In this titration we are going to use starch as a indicator. Indicator means it is a chemical substance. It is used to find out the it is used to find out the end point of the titration without undergoing any chemical changes. Without undergoing any chemical changes, we are going to find out the end point of the titration, that is known as indicator. Okay, it is the principle of Winkler method. And next one, chemical required. What are the chemicals required for this experiments? Chemicals required. Okay. The first one, manganese sulfate. The first chemical is manganese sulfate. Second one is alkaline potassium iodide. Second one is alkaline potassium iodide. Alkaline potassium iodide. And third one is sulfuric acid. Third one is sulfuric acid. And fourth one is starch as an indicator. Starch as a indicator. And sodium thiosulfate. Sodium thiosulfate, fifth one. Sodium thiosulfate. And sixth one, distilled water. These are the chemicals used in this experiment. That is the first one, manganese sulfate, and second one is alkaline potassium iodide, and third one is sulfuric acid, and fourth one is indicator used, that is starch indicator, and fifth one is sodium thiosulfate solution, and next one, that is distilled water we have used in this experiments. And next one, reaction of what are the reactions taking place in this experiment. Reactions for this experiment. These are the reactions involved in this experiments. Okay, we'll study one by one through procedure. What are the procedure involved in this experiment? First one, we know the principle of this experiment, and second, we know the chemicals required for this experiment, and third one, reactions of this experiment, and next one, procedure. First one, first you have to take two stoppered bottles, okay, 300 ml, two stoppered bottles, and it is filled with water sample. Okay, the first thing is, first you have to take to 300 ml glass stopper BOD, biological oxygen demand. For this experiment we are using the stopper bottle. The same stopper bottle we have to use in this experiment. Let's take to 300 ml glass stopper BOD bottle. It is filled with water sample. This is the first thing. And for filled with water sample and avoid bubbles formation. Keep it in mind. The first procedure is, first you have to take two bottles. That is BOD bottles, 300 ml glass BOD bottles, stopper bottle, and it is filled with water sample. Whatever we are going to testing, that water sample you have to filled in 300 ml glass stopper bottle and avoid the water bubbles or avoid the bubbles formation in the stopper bottle. And second thing is, you have to add 1 ml of manganese sulfate solution. Add 1 ml of manganese sulfate solution in the stopper bottle. Second one is add 1 ml of manganese sulfate solution in the sample by using pipette. Okay, by using calibrated pipette, we have to add 1 ml of manganese sulfate solution in the BOD bottles by using calibrated pipette just below the surface of the liquids. In that type, you have to add 1 ml of manganese sulfate solution. And the third point is, again you have to add 1 ml of, third point, add 1 ml of alkaline iodide solution. In the same manner, whatever you have added manganese sulfate in the BOD bottle, in the same manner you have to add 1 ml of alkaline iodide solution, and squeeze the pipette. The fourth point is just you have to squeeze the pipette slowly, so no bubbles are introduced in the bottle. Okay, just squeeze the bottle in the form of, there is no any, sorry, squeeze the pipette, not bottle, squeeze the pipette slowly, so no bubbles are introduced in the water bottle. Okay, If after this one, after addition of manganese sulfate solution and alkaline iodide solution, and one thing you remember here, don't allow the formation of the bubbles in the BOD bottle. Okay, next one, next procedure. If oxygen is present in the water sample, if oxygen is present, then it shows cloudy brownish orange pipette is formed. Cloudy brownish orange precipitate will be appear here after addition of manganese sulfate and alkaline iodide. If oxygen is present in the water sample, it shows cloudy brownish orange precipitate is appear. When cloudy brownish orange precipitate is formed, when the oxygen is present in that sample, then only that solution shows cloudy brownish orange precipitate is appear. Okay, and allow it to settle for some time, and when the cloudy brownish orange precipitate is formed, we have to allow it for sometimes to settle down and reacts with oxygen, react completely with oxygen, and then you have to add 2 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid. After settle of this solution, you have to add 2 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid. After settle the solution, then you have to add 2 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid, and the next one, and go for next, that is you have to carefully stopper and invert several times. You have to invert that several times to dissolve the whatever the precipitate is formed, pipette is formed. It have to dissolve. That's why you have to invert several times that bottles, and at this point the sample is fixed and can be stored for up to 8 hours. It is kept in a cool, dark place. Okay. After inverting these bottles, it is kept in cool, dark place for 8 hours. 8 hours. It is kept in cool, dark place. Okay, and the solution is, after here the solution is prepared. Then take one burette, and it is rinsed with, or it is washed with, or it is rinsed with sodium thiosulfate solution. The next point is burette is rinsed with sodium thiosulfate solution. The burette is rinsed with or washed with sodium thiosulfate solution, and it is filled with sodium thiosulfate solution, and it is attached to the stand. Burette is attached to the stand and fix the burette to the stand and measure out of 200 ml of solution from the bottle. Take 200 ml, whatever you have, the solution is kept 8 hours in the dark room or in the cool dark place. You have to take 200 ml of this is solution in a conical flask, and it is titrated with immediately when you are taking. The next procedure is this is solution 200 ml of this solution. It is taken in conical flask. In conical flask, you have to take whatever the solution you have prepared here by adding manganese sulfate, alkaline iodide and concentrated sulfuric acid, and it is kept in 8 hours in a dark room or cool dark place. You have to take, after 8 hours you have to take 200 ml of this solution and immediately, don't waste the time, immediately you have to titrate with sodium thiosulfate solution. Whatever you have taken in the burette, you have to titrate with sodium thiosulfate solution by using starch as a indicator. By using starch as a indicator. Okay, and end point of the titration is disappears colorless. The end point of this experiment, it shows colorless solution or colors are disappear. That is your end point, color to colorless. That is your end point by using starch as a indicator. And how much amount of sodium thiosulfate it is consumed? How much amount of sodium thiosulfate it is consumed, which gives, or note down the volume of sodium thiosulfate solution added. Note down the sodium thiosulfate solution, it is added into the solution to disappear the color, that which indicates or which gives dissolved oxygen. That consumed thiosulfate solution, this consumed thiosulfate solution which gives dissolved oxygen level. And again repeat the titration for concurrent readings 2 times or 3 times you have to take by following this procedure. 2 to 3 readings you have to take. Okay, and first thing, and again explaining, first thing for dissolved oxygen, first you have to write principle of this experiment, and you have to write the chemicals whatever you have used in this experiment you have to write, and write the reaction and go for procedure. For procedure, first point you have to take 2 bottles, 2 300 ml BOD bottles, and it is filled with water sample, and you have to avoid the bubbles formation in the water bottles, and you have to add 1 ml of manganese sulfate solution in the water bottle, sample bottle, and again you have to add in the same manner, you have to add alkaline iodide solution in the sample BOD bottles, stopper bottles, and squeeze the pipetting for avoiding the bubbles formation in the sample bottle. And if oxygen is present in the sample, then it shows cloudy brownish orange precipitate is appear, and then it is settle for some times, and add 2 ml of concentrated sulfuric acid in the solution, and it is kept 8 hours in dark cool place. And go for next one, that is you have to wash the burette or rinse the burette by using sodium thiosulfate solution, and it is filled with sodium thiosulfate solution, and it is fixed with fixed in stand, and again you have to take 200 ml of solution in a conical flask, and it is titrated with sodium thiosulfate solution by using starch as a indicator, and the end point shows color to colorless. And you have to take again 2 to 3 concurrent burette readings, and whatever the sodium thiosulfate solution consumed, it gives dissolved oxygen. Okay, and calculation, the formula. By using this formula, we are going to find out the dissolved oxygen, or determination of dissolved oxygen present in the water sample by using this formula. That is, dissolved oxygen equals to burette reading. We already find out burette reading, and normality of titrant, that is standard solution, sodium thiosulfate solution, and 8000 divided by volume of sample titrated. Okay, if for example, if take a 10 ml of sodium thiosulfate, it is consumed or it is used, then that is if 10 ml of titrant are used, if 10 ml of titrant is used, then dissolved oxygen equals to, burette reading is 10 ml of thiosulfate solution is consumed, then into normality of titrant. That's why we have used here standard thiosulfate solution, that is 0.025 into 8000 divided by volume of sample titrated. How much sample is titrated with sodium thiosulfate? That is 200 ml of solution is taken in the conical flask. That is volume of sample titrated 200. It is nearly 10 ppm, parts per million. 10 parts per million. Okay. This is the determination of dissolved oxygen. Determination of dissolved oxygen in water sample. First thing, if they ask for 5 marks, how you determine dissolved oxygen in water sample, or explain the Winkler method. Explain the Winkler method, or how you determine the dissolved oxygen in water sample. First you have to write. They may be asked for 5 marks question or 5 marks. First you have to write principle of that experiment, chemicals used, whatever the chemicals you have used in this experiment you have to write, and reactions. You have to write the reactions and go for procedure, and you have to write your own procedure. 6 to 7 points are there. You have to write and go for calculation formula. First you have to write calculation. It is mg per liter. Burette reading into normality of titrant into 8000 divided by volume of sample titrated. Volume of sample titrated. Or they may be asked for 2 marks. Write the formula for determination of dissolved oxygen. Dissolved oxygen, then you have to write only simple formula. If they ask 5 marks, you have to write up to all these things, up to this. Okay, this may be asked for 5 marks question. If you have any doubt from this dissolved oxygen, you contact me. Okay, thank you.